Thank you, Pete. And welcome to everyone that's joining. Really a crazy turnout. I was very surprised and pleasantly surprised to see how many people had registered for this webinar. So I'm excited to dive in, and I'll just go ahead and share my screen, and we'll get into it. We want to talk to you today about the Pictory API. So I would love to kind of understand, first off, in the chat, how many of you are existing Pictory subscribers? Do you have an active license, your familiarity with Pictory, etc.? So, wow, it looks like just about every one of you is currently a subscriber. So we're going to talk about Pictory. We're going to talk about the API, specifically aspects of Pictory, and how you can really automate your video creation process through our API. So we're excited to talk to you about that today and dive into it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and we can get into it. So you're all familiar with Pictory, right? We know what's possible with Pictory. You can create videos out of scripts, out of blogs. You can summarize videos, you can create videos out of visuals. So all of that and more is available through the Pictory API. So we want to talk to you a little bit more about how that works, what some of our users are currently doing with the Pictory API, and love to see more of you join and become part of the Pictory API family. So again, not to belabor this, but you know, who is Pictory? Who are we? We are an AI company that offers an API that allows you to generate videos using AI technology. You can do that in an automated fashion without any in-house AIs or data scientists. Pictory is providing that to you, and now you're able to leverage our API to build into your own tech stacks and workflow through our API interface and our various API endpoints. So quickly, who are we? This is the bulk of the Pictory API team. I wanted to share this with you because it's not just me and Mohit, although we are two of the most active people, but we also have Vishal, our CTO, that is driving all of these decisions. We also have Shalindra, who's our head of engineering, and Nikhil, who is a principal software engineer. So a team of 5 of us, if you consider some of our testers, probably closer to 10 from an API perspective. And we've been working hard on this solution for the last several months, a year and a half now, in some cases. So we're excited to talk to you about it. So with Pictory, what we really want to do is, this is kind of our North Star. This is where we're going, and this is what we strive to do. We strive to help our users unlock the power of their existing assets with seamless video creation. So it looks like some of you are having some trouble with the presenter or the presentation. Go ahead and try refreshing or going out and coming back in. I see some people say that it's working, and others indicating that it's frozen. So maybe try going out and back in. But I'll keep going. If for some reason you can't access it or it's not working, this will be available for replay. So don't worry about that. We'll be able to get you a copy of it after the fact as well. But so first off, let's start with some unique selling propositions, USPs, specifically around the API. You know, first and foremost, with an API, all of this can be fully automated. Right. So with the traditional web app, you know, there is involvement, interaction with the web app, which is fine when you're creating one-off videos, etc. But if you're looking to create an automated video creation process, definitely the API is something to take a look at. And that is one of our biggest selling propositions from an API perspective, is that automated video creation. Secondly, and this is something we just rolled out. I believe it's rolled out this week. Mohit, maybe you can confirm this, but this idea of our customizable templates that you can create and now specifically refer to during your API video creation, so you can have parameters predefined and be able to create videos specifically for various platforms, etc. So some customization options now that are also available via the API. Obviously, multiple language support. So in the web app, we support up to 29 different languages. Same thing with the API, being able to support all of those languages. And if there's others that we need to add, the team here, myself and Mohit, would love to understand what languages people are looking for. Our API is scalable and cost effective. So obviously, with the API, you can scale anywhere from 5 videos a day to 5,000 videos a day, depending upon your workload, how you're creating those videos, who you're creating it for, and we will. That's something that is able to be scaled up and down, as needed. And then, simple integration, which Mohit will actually walk through here a little bit later. And Marty, we will definitely jump into a few use cases here. So I noticed that you're asking for use cases. We will definitely get to that here in a second. So use cases, right? There are, right now on this slide, there are 8 different use cases. And you can read all of them. I'm not going to go through every one of them here. But with our web app, you think about our script to video, blog to video, video summarization, and visuals to video are kind of the 4, I guess you could say, ways that you can interact with content on Pictory. Well, these are 8 use cases that we have seen from either our existing customers or we've had conversations with customers about. So I'd love for you to take a few minutes here and look at these. And then I'd love to hear from you if there's something specifically that we're not thinking about, something that we are, maybe we have missed specifically on here. But, a couple of ones that obviously are not prevalent on our website or prevalent when you come subscribe for the web app is this idea of audio to video. So think about podcasting. If you're a podcaster, you can send us a video file, and then we can match the text to images, etc. The ability just to sync an audio file. There's a variety of different things that you can subscribe to the API to do, to where you don't necessarily have to go through the traditional UI specific. So lots of different use cases that we have seen specifically. Mohit, is there anything that I specifically mentioned, or maybe anything we've overlooked here from a use case perspective on your side?
Pretty good, Mark. I think these are the major 8 use cases that we have. Just one thing that you talked about, the customized video template API, right? So that is being launched on 15th of May. So we don't have that in prod yet. So it is coming soon for us. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I knew that was on the horizon, so I appreciate you providing that insight. So I see some comments here about voice cloning and being able to provide your own voice, which is definitely something that we've heard from a lot of different customers, and it's something that we are working on, is the ability to do voice cloning, to provide your own voice. To provide samples, to be able to create essentially your own voice clone specifically, and being able to do that through the API is something that we'll be able to do a lot quicker than what we can do through the UI, right? Because we're not going to have to build a UI specifically around it. And then also avatars. I think Gerald, Susan, and Jerry have all asked about avatars. And that is definitely something that we have on our radar and on our roadmap as well, is being able to offer avatars directly through it. So definitely some exciting things, but I want to hear from you. So I'd love for you guys to share this is an active poll. You can go to slido.com on your computer, enter in that number and vote. You can also scan the QR code to vote specifically. I can see if I can have Pete or Mohit share a link to the poll, but I see that there's people voting. So these are use cases, right, that we've seen, and would love to understand from each and every one of you which one of these interests you the most. So we're seeing people voting live real time here, right? So right now, out of 6 votes so far, text to video is obviously the most interesting use case, but we're seeing, you can see now, even just the 21 people that have voted, there is a huge expanse across all of these different use cases, right? So the text to video, the audio to video, the AI video editor, branding your video content. The most important thing to take out of this is all of this is available via the API. We have public APIs that will allow you to do all of these things specifically, and it's all publicly available right now. These APIs have been available and have been something that we've been selling for roughly about the last year actively. So we have a very large number of customers that are currently testing it, as well as active customers that are using this in their own tech stack. So continue to vote. 63 votes so far, with the overwhelming majority being text to video. So appreciate everyone voting on that and providing their feedback. So I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead here to the next slide so we can get to some of the demonstrations as well as Q&A. I don't want to belabor the use cases for too long, but I wanted to kind of highlight 3 of the partner companies that we currently have that are using our API. So if you look at these are just their logos, etc. But we have Kajabi, which is an online course platform company. We have Chegg, which is one of the largest edtech companies in the world that's using Pictory, and then we also have the Regis Company, which is an LMS, a learning platform. And we're going to go over their specific use cases and the ways that they are using Pictory today. So we saw the use cases, right? We saw the various use cases that you can employ specifically with Pictory's API. And you don't have to look very far other than looking at 3 different API customers and how they're using it to see that we're seeing a very wide use case for our API. So the Kajabi use case specifically first, Kajabi has integrated Pictory's video summarization API. So basically what they allow their customers to do, their heroes as they call them, is they can upload their course content within their Creator Studio platform. You can go in and you can summarize your course. So I'm an avid golfer, maybe I'm teaching people how to play golf, and I've got 60-minute courses on the grip, the stance, the ball striking, whatever it ends up being, right? With Pictory's integration with Kajabi, I can go in and I can, through our AI technology, create a short form course or ask their AI to auto summarize, auto highlight, the edit videos using text specifically. They can, their users can now turn their long form courses into short form courses directly within their platform. The second one being Chegg. So Chegg is a large edtech company. They are, I guess, one of the largest in the industry, helping students in higher education study and learn more effectively. So they have dozens of years worth of content that that they're essentially trying to now turn into video content. Because one thing that they're seeing with their students, especially in higher ed, as you know, each generation gets older, the younger generations are used to learning through watching videos, consuming videos, you know, the YouTube generation, if you will. So what they're doing is they're taking their existing text-based learning content and turning it into short form videos that they can share on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, where their customers are hanging out. So another use case, and they're building this functionality directly into their essentially their UI. And that's the power that the API brings, right? Is Pictory is allowing them to bring the 4+ years of Pictory development experience, infrastructure that we have in place to now give their students and their you know, internal team members the ability to quickly and easily create video-based learning content out of their existing text-based content and do it in a programmatic fashion. And then finally, the newest, or one of the newest integrations that we have is with a company called the Regis Company. So the Regis Company is a learning and development company. They have traditionally been a done for you solution where you're a large organization and you need to create learning and training material for your internal courses. You can now, as a Regis Company user, subscriber, you can now create your own bespoke learning and training content out of text through the integration that we have with Regis, with our text to video workflow, or text to video API. So if you look across these three users specifically, Kajabi is doing video summarization. Chegg is doing URL to video. Regis is doing text to video. So there's a lot of varying use cases here just within these three users that we're seeing, and we're here to support all of them. I'm going to pause for a second. I notice there's some people that are still having some issues here. Pete, Mohit, would love to understand, are you guys seeing anything or having any issues?
It's all good here. When there are those issues, it's typically a local internet connection or a browser issue. I would just carry on and invite people to watch the replay.
Good deal. Just wanted to make sure. Awesome. Thanks everyone for confirming. We'll go ahead and move on. And as Pete said, if you're having problems, we will share the replay with you. So this will be recorded and available for you after the webinar is over. So with all of that being said, we've gone through use cases, right? We've seen all the various ways that you can use Pictory. We've seen a couple of the actual partner companies that have integrated this. So what I'd love to do is have Mohit step in here and talk about exactly how you use the API. We have a sample here of a JSON file, as well as the various steps. So Mohit, can you jump in and talk about basically how we've developed this API specifically for our text to video workflow?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Mark. Thanks for the introduction about what different use cases we can execute using our APIs. Okay, just let me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you can see, right? So the Pictory video generations usually works in three steps, right? Call our text to video, and preview the video, and once you are happy with the video, just render it. So these are actually three steps shown as step 2, 3, and 4 in the video, right? So the first step is definitely to obtain the access token. In order to obtain access token, you need to reach out to Marc. He will we'll definitely be sharing few of the API keys at the end of the session. If you answer few questions with Marc, Marc will definitely vet all of them. So once you have API keys, just call our authentication API. It will give you access token, which can then be used to in all following APIs, from storyboard API to get job API to video render API. So you need to call all these APIs after that. So our main API is a storyboard API, which is can be used for all the use cases shown in previous slides, right? So whether it be text to video, whether it be video summarization, whether it be podcast to video, this is the one master API uh, which actually starts the video generation in the backend. So just the sample you see here on the left hand side is actually uh, a text to video use case. I'll explain this sample also later on. But you call our storyboard API, pass your text, pass your brand logo, pass the AI voiceover that you want to use, and uh, then basically once you hit the API, the video generation is actually a asynchronous task, right? So it doesn't directly give you the video, right? So you need to call our get job API to get the status of your job, which have been called in the storyboard API. So get job API will return a success complete. When the status of the get job API is complete, it will give you a video preview URL, just similar as in Pictory web app. When you put the text in the Pictory web app, and then when you go to the next page, it gives you a video preview. So it's similar to that. So once you are happy with the video preview, you it also, this API get job API is also give you some render params, audio settings, scene settings, and few other settings. Mark, uh, have you turned off the slides? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so you need to pass all these settings, audio settings, scene settings, everything into our video render API. And again, video rendering is again another very much time consuming process. So you again need to call our get job API to get the video download URL, and it also gives you a subtitles and other things also, right? So that's how you generate a video using Pictory video API. On the left hand side, you can see the video objects. There is an audio object, and which says which AI voiceover you want to use. If you can bring your own voice also, that setting is not shown over here, but there is a voiceover URI command also is there if you want to bring your own voiceover. Voice cloning feature is right now not available, so we are working on it and it will be there soon. And then the next is the brand logo, right? If you want to put your own brand logo, you can put it there. And then there is a scenes array. So if there is just text is there, our AI algorithm will automatically generate the visual for you. If you provide both background and text, the text will be used as the subtitles. And apart from that, there are many font settings and all these things are also available, which you can go through by going through our API documentations, which Marc will show you at the end of the session. Yeah. So yeah, that's all from my side, Marc. Yeah. Any questions? I'll be happy to take it from the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mohit. So I know there were some questions about being able to provide your own voice or being able to kind of set the different default music and voice settings, and all of those settings are available to you through the API. Again, in this webinar, there's a lot of stuff that you can do with the API, and we don't necessarily have time to go through all of it, but at the end, we will share the documentation so you can go through and look at it. It's all publicly available to where you can read through it. You can see some of the samples that we have set up on there. You can also look at the run a job in Postman to see how it works. So you can do some testing in a test environment there specifically, and we will share all of that with you at the end of the webinar here. So again, just to kind of drive home some of the, the key benefits here of the API. So, first and foremost, this can all be automated. As Mohit said, it's asynchronous, but you can set this up to where it all runs in essentially in a chain. We have one customer that has integrated an API specifically into a Zapier workflow that he's created, to where when someone goes to his website, they ask the website a question specifically, and then behind the scenes, he is taking that question, answering the question, turning that answer into a video script, passing the video script into Pictory, but it's all happening automatically, just in sequence. So it's something that you can set up, in sequence, or you can do it asynchronously, as Mohit said. Offering those customizable templates and styles, which Mohit said will be available this week. So a lot more customization from a video creation perspective that you can set to where when you are automatically creating those videos, it's automatically applying that templates, those styles, etc. Again, scalable and cost effective, and we'll go over the pricing here in a little bit, but it's usage-based pricing. So you're only paying for the videos that you create. So we're trying to make sure that this is accessible for people, being able to support multiple languages as well. So I know there are some questions about Indian languages, and we are constantly looking at ways that we can add new languages to this. Even have talked about, what would be possible from like even a translation perspective. We don't have that available yet, but those are things that we're thinking about. Like, how do we continue to iterate on this product just to make it to continue to be at the bleeding edge of this technology, and then the seamless integration. It's JSON files, and Mohit can go into more of the specifics on that, and he does in the documentation, so you can see all the various use cases, the GitHub repository that we have. So we're constantly working on the documentation to make it easy for people to integrate this into their own tech stack, into their own workflows. So, how can you make money from this? How can you leverage the API as a add-on, to your products and services? I'm sure there are some of you here in the audience that are thinking about this for your own use case, for creating videos and automating the video creation for your own videos. Maybe there's some others of you that are thinking about how do you build this into your own solution, into your own product and service. So, some different things that we've seen from customers so far is, a subscription-based model, right? Where this becomes a new SKU that people are able to subscribe to give them the ability to use AI technologies to turn their existing content into videos, just like Pictory is doing for our current customers, being able to take to charge people access to use your integration directly within Pictory. Or maybe it's a pay-per-use model, right? Maybe it's an agency, and you're automating the video creation for customers, and you're doing more one-off videos, but you're able to do this in a programmatic fashion where you can just simply send the parameters and send the request to an API to create those videos, and do it in a way where there's minimal human involvement. Sponsored content and advertising, obviously, another one, a freemium model. So this is something that Kajabi employs, is a freemium model. So you can create up to one video project every month with them, and then if you want to create more from that, you have to subscribe to the Creator Studio. So it's a freemium model. And then professional services and consulting as well. So there's a variety of different ways that you're able to take advantage of this API. And I just wanted to kind of paint a picture of this is with Pictory's API. It's more than just the API. There are obviously that is what we are providing. That's what we're selling to you, but it's giving you multiple potential revenue streams as you know, with adding in this API into your workflow, into your product, into your experience. So, you know, we want to help our customers create more opportunities for themselves through the use of video technology that we're able to provide. So with that being said, what is the pricing? You know, I'm sure you guys probably are all wondering how we currently have this priced. And I'd love to share the pricing model with you here. So as I mentioned, this is usage-based pricing. So we have a variety of different tiers that you would fall into based off of the number of videos that you would create on a monthly basis. And you can kind of, you can take a look at this and you can back into how much or what the outlay would be from a cost perspective. So most APIs, when you think about ChatGPT, OpenAI, and others, they're charging you based off of the number of calls that you make to the API. We take a different stance. We know that videos are very, shall we say, iterative. So what you start with is rarely what you end up with when you're talking about creating a video. So we don't actually charge you for the calls that you make to the API. We only charge you for the number of video minutes that you render through the API. So as Mohit walked through earlier, you know, you can send you know, a request to the API to get a storyboard back. That doesn't cost you anything. It only actually costs you money when you get through to the final, the last stage, essentially when you call the render API with that job request to actually have that video rendered. That's when we actually calculate how many video minutes that you use from a rendering perspective. And then at the end of the month, we add up how many minutes that is, and then we charge you based off of these different tiers that you fall into. So there's a variety of different tiers that I mentioned based off of usage, anywhere from our beginner all the way up to our enterprise, where customers are creating over 300,000 minutes of video every month. So it looks like Jay Davis had a question about the monthly platform fee. So monthly platform fee is just that's the cost that it requires to get access to the API. And then on top of that, you pay the usage fee. So for example, in the beginner tier, it's a $500 monthly fee. And then if you were to render 1,000 minutes of video at 30 cents per minute, that would be $300. So it'd basically be 500 plus 300 for a total of $800, which is still less than $1 per minute of finished video. So that's kind of how the video or how the API pricing works. So hopefully that answers your question. So the next, I guess, where do we go from here, right? We've talked about what Pictory is so far. All of you guys, I think pretty much everyone in the audience is a Pictory subscriber. So you're familiar with what you can do with Pictory. You're familiar with all of the capabilities that you have with Pictory. But what's coming down the pipe? What are we doing? What are we doing as we move forward? And Jay Soniker, Jay Davis, I can answer some of the questions about the additional way that you can get access to the API at the end as well. So we do give customers that are part of our Teams plan access to the API at the same limits that you would have with the current Teams plan, which we can talk about, and I'm happy to set up some time specifically to walk through more of that with you. But so future state, where's Pictory going? What are we doing? One of the big things that we're working on right now is this idea of indexing your existing content. So you already know with Pictory, you have the access to Getty, Storyblocks, Pexels, all of our stock image libraries. That comes with the API as well. But what about your own assets? What about images and videos that you have of your own? So one of the things that we're currently working on, and I, I think right now it's slated to be released by the end of Q2, is the ability for us to crawl and index your own asset library. So if you're a large brand, a large organization, you have maybe your own DAM, we can take those assets and we can index them. And then when you send us a script, we can search through your own asset library to pull in your own assets to build that video, as opposed to using stock footage, or we can do some combination of both. So this idea of indexing your own content is essentially what we are, where we're headed with this, to make just to take this to the next level and give customers the ability to use their own assets, their own content, as opposed to using all of our stock images. So that is kind of future state, being able to integrate your own assets, your own videos into the video creation process very easily. Someone asked about Zapier earlier in the chat. So again, coming soon. And Mohit, if you're able to jump in here, I'd love for you to kind of chat about this, because I know you've been spearheading this initiative. But we are getting very, very close to launching and announcing our Zapier connections. So Mohit, are you able to jump in and kind of talk about what we're doing specifically with Zapier?
Sure, sure. So there are two major use cases that are currently in development. One is definitely text to video, and another is the editing video, right? Where you can, if you have an existing video, you can rebrand it, add brand logo, remove silences, fillers, add intro, outro, right? And then you can publish it to any of the social media platform. So this use case is coming live on 15th, by end of this month, right? And we will have a file size limitation of approximately 1 GB, right? Bigger files are definitely not supported, because that's the limitations of Zapier, which is there. But yeah, just to give you a sneak peek, how you can do it is, one is definitely for your webinars or any of the recordings. The recordings goes as soon as there is a new recording in Zoom, you can remove silences, fillers, add your brand logo, add intro, outro, and then publish it onto the YouTube. Or even you can send it to yourself over the mail, or to whomsoever you want to send it, right? So that's the use case that we are is going live in next in this month, in the month of May. So that's what we have been doing as of now. Yeah.
Awesome. And then the next thing that's coming up, right, is the Pictory white label video summary API. Anything you want to add there before I jump into how excited I am about that?
Yeah, so this has been one of the major talk points of many of our API users, right? They have always wondered how we can um, do the video summarization and transcription and everything within their app, right? So they wanted some sort of white labeling of our own solutions, not only the APIs, to be integrated into their app. So this was one of the use cases, which is wherein which you can integrate your existing video summary uh, through a white labeled app into your own web app. So that's the possibility that we are working on as of now. So this is also coming soon. It might come by end of June. That's what the current plan is. But yeah, it will give you will be able to bring your own transcription. If you don't want to use our transcription services, you can bring your own transcriptions. You can you can summarize your video, right? You can see in the screenshot also. So there is 1 minute video, 3 minute video, 4 minute video. And then you can, as soon as video is ready, we will notify you over webhook also. So that's also a possibility over there. So this is what we have been developing as a part of our white label video summary API white labeling solution. Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, I'm super excited about the white label solution. I know some of the challenges that our early adopters of the video summarization workflow that we have was building the UI around it because we've already done that. So now making this available to customers to be able to leverage the white label video editing page that we already have is going to be a game changer for a lot of people. So we're really excited about that. I know there was a question about Pabbly. I think we've actually been working with Pabbly as well. Mohit, do you have any updates on that?
That's the work is in progress there, Mark. We don't have any timeline for that as of now, but yeah, on Pabbly also text to video, edit video, all the use cases which are available through our APIs will be available via Pabbly also. So
Yep.
that is also something which we have been working along with Pabbly team.
Yeah, so Pabbly, Zapier, as well as the white label solution, lots of exciting stuff coming in the next couple of months here. So really, really excited about that. So we'll keep moving on here because I know we're getting close to the end, and I want to make time for questions. So I mentioned to everybody that I want to get access, give people the ability to get access to the API. So Pete mentioned at the beginning that there's no gimmicks, there's no tricks. I'm trying to gather information on how people are using this API. So all I need you to do in order to get access to the API is to answer these 3 questions as completely as possible and email them to me. Or I also have a form that I can share with you that that you'll be able to fill out as well, which will automatically be submitted to me if that's easier than remembering the questions, because they're already outlined there as well. But really pretty simple. Trying to understand volume that you're creating or that you anticipate creating on a monthly basis and the average length of video. This helps us know what usage is currently like and what it's going to be like, so we can understand, do we need to deploy more resources to support new users of the API, leveraging this for internal purposes or offering this as an add-on to your own customers. So this helps us with kind of understanding the support that is going to be needed for you or even further down the chain to your customers. And then obviously with this crowd, I think you've all used the web app product, so you understand what's possible. But again, just to make sure that everyone knows what Pictory does going into it, so there's no miscommunications here. So this is pretty simple stuff. I just really want to understand what the usage is, how it's going to be used, and then your level of familiarity with the Pictory web app. So if you're interested in getting access to the API to test this out, I'd love to get these answers from you, and I will share a link to the form. But this is the form here at the top. I'll also share this in the follow-up email that everyone gets. So we'll send a link to this. There's actually a resources page that's coming up with all of this stuff at the end as well. So we want to make sure that you get access to this, and it's pretty easy to do. So I mentioned resources. So we have a readme.io page, which is basically where all of our documentation lives. This is public documentation. This is information that has everything about our API, how to get started with it, how to make calls specifically to the API, different workflows that we've outlined here within the web app. So again, these resources will be shared with you. This Postman link is actually another link to get started with testing Postman with the API, which is also available at the README site. So something that's also available there, as well as our GitHub repository for examples on how to use it. So with that being said, we've got about 10 minutes left. I know there's a lot of questions, so would love to, I guess, get into some of the questions. Pete, Mohit, any questions that maybe we've missed earlier on in the chat while I was going through the presentation? Something that we need to get back to. I will go ahead and answer the first one that I see here from Manu, which is, do you plan on adding AI generated footage using stable diffusion and similar models? Man, while that's not actually on the roadmap right now, it's something that we talk about as a leadership team a lot, and something that we have explored. So while I can't give you a definitive answer, yes or no, it's more like a maybe right now. So that's essentially kind of where that stands specifically. The old plans, everything keeps going. We're not changing any of the plans, etc. Everything is still going to be there. This API just now exists in parallel with the existing plans that we have. So as far as Evelyn hands-on training for implementation, I'm assuming you're asking about implementation of the API. We would love to have conversations with you, understand how you're using it. I think Mohit maybe has some more insight that he can fill in on that.
So yeah, regarding this question regarding to the hands-on training, right? So we have a lot of API examples created on GitHub also. So whatever we have developed from text to video summarization, all the examples are available there, and you can definitely reach out to us in case you face any issues with our APIs. We are definitely there to help. There are a lot of documentation which is around there. You can go to pictory-api.readme.io. It consists of almost all the use cases of how to develop text to video, edit video, video summarization. All these things are described there. There are additionally there we have a lot of videos also, so we can share with you for your specific use cases there also. And in case if you face any difficulties, you can definitely reach out to us and we'll be happy to help. Yeah, one question,
Yeah.
Mark. For do we have, this is something which I am also not sure, do we have this API as a part of Teams plan?
Yeah, great question. So we do give you access to the API as part of the Teams plan when you become a subscriber. So if you are a paying subscriber of the Teams plan, please let me know if you're interested in getting started with it. We can set you up with access to the API and give you access to that, because that's something that you're able to get. As far as the question about if there's a way to see past jobs created using the API in the web app, that is something that our team is actively working on right now, is being able to see the jobs that you've created within the API that would give you the ability to go back and edit those in the web app. So the first step was us associating the Teams plan to the API so you could deprecate the number of videos and 11 labs minutes and everything you get as part of that. The next step is now to actually tie those projects into the platform itself.
Guys, could you put the question mark, sorry, the questions back up?
Yes.
Just for a little while. That's what Corey's asking.
The access questions. So I put a link to the form there in the chat, which would take you right to them.
Okay.
So hopefully that will help. But what I want to do is I want to bring up the link to all the resources again. This will give you access to the API docs. It'll give you access to Postman, to GitHub, and then here's a link to the form that you can do. So Joe, there will be a replay that will be provided, so we can do that. Let me go back up here really quick to see some of the questions that we have overlooked. Jay asked, for white label reselling, will Pictory still be able to provide end user tech support? That is a great question, Jay. Since the white label is still done through the API, right now it would be the support for said videos would be created or would be handled by yourself. But I'd love to set up some time to understand more about maybe your specific use case and how we might be able to work together on something like that.
Yeah, Marc, Mark, the links aren't clickable and they're quite long. So if you just get the slide up with the questions and your email address again, then I think some people want to
Sure.
actually answer the questions now.
There you go. And the email address is marc@pictory.ai because my camera feed is over that. Lee asks, as the video gen technology develops, it will impact this, or indicates that it will impact the stock video industry. You're absolutely right, and that's something we're seeing with the just general video creation, which is why we are working on being able to index your own content and make your own content or UGC content indexable. So definitely something we want to continue to work on. If we scroll down, Adrian, if we get access to the API, do we have to pay the monthly fee, or is it a free trial for anyone on this call? So the API, I will give everyone access to the API for a short period of time to test. If you want to continue to use the API, then you can either become a Teams subscriber, which would give you access to the API by paying the fee for the Teams subscription, or if you're beyond the amount of videos that you create as part of the Teams subscription, you'd have to go up to the larger, the enterprise subscription, which we went over earlier, the usage-based pricing. So those are the two different ways that you're able to leverage the API from a pricing and subscription perspective. Igor mentioned or asking you to add option to overlay videos or images like in CapCut. So we did just roll out layers as part of Pictory. So that is now part of the Pictory ecosystem, the Pictory layers. So that's something that you're able to do now as well. So that's now available directly within the web app as well as the API. I'm just scrolling through here to see anything else I missed. Great. All right. I don't see if I missed anything, but if there's anything that I missed, please pop the questions into the chat. Again, if there's anything that I overlooked, I tried to go back in the chat specifically to answer any questions, but I want to make sure that I address them. I do have time for a few other questions. Romanian language, Marius asks, I don't believe Romanian is currently one of our supported languages, but I definitely think most European languages are on the short list of languages to support. So we can follow up with you, Marius, about timeline for that one after this. Jay Davis, just to refresh my memory, the video summary is not available in the API just yet. No, so the video summary is available in the API. That was actually one of the very first APIs that we built. It's just the white label portion of that. So you can send us a video via the API. We can do a video summary. We can return, a short form video as part of that. It would just all be done via the API calls. It's not until July when the white label solution comes out. Rick asked about templates via API. Will it, for example, be like a real estate listing video? Yeah, Rick. So those are exactly the types of templates that we're thinking about, like basically giving API users the ability to create their own template that would essentially just use all of the parameters, etc., be predefined, and then all you'd have to do is pass this through the text, the images, etc., and we would automatically create those videos for you.
Yeah. Just to add one more thing here, this template API, right? So how it would work in practical world is that you go to our Pictory web app, you create a template, and then you download a template, and then you can use this template created on the web app to modify certain text or images and send it to multiple people, right? So create thousands of video from one single template. So you can change tags if you want some particular scenes. Those things also can be done over there. But yeah,
Yeah.
Rick, you are right that the example of it is definitely like real estate listing video. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a question about the uh, video effects such as clouds, rain, smoke, etc. I don't know if any of that stuff, Jerson, is on the roadmap currently, but that's all stuff that you can provide with like via the API. So you'd be able to send us essentially URIs for any like the background tracks, etc. you wanted to have like from the like audio effects, etc., video effects. You'd be able to build that in. We have customers that have essentially connected multiple AI technologies together to create videos as part of this. So with the API, it gives you a lot more functionality, as part of it, but that's not currently built in to Pictory or our API yet. Lee mentioning better elements, lower thirds, bullet points, overlays, etc. So that is something that is coming as part of templates and layers. So that's all work that's being undertaken right now, and you should see more updates from that over the next couple of months here throughout the course of Q2. One other question here, and then I know we got to wrap this up, but Sally asks, can you take a blog and generate a video? Or you can take a blog and generate a video. It'd be nice to turn a video or audio to a blog. Definitely would be not something that we have necessarily on the roadmap right now, but it's a good suggestion. And I know
Mark,
Mohit
it is
being
available. It is already available. So from our podcast to video, right? So whenever you upload your
got
podcast
it.
or we have a mechanism in our API where as soon as you upload your audio or video, you can get your transcription ready in form of text. So that is actually
There
possible.
you go.
You can convert your video or audio to text also.
There you go. Another use case. Another use case there. So I know there's a lot of other questions that are coming in, and we're here at the top of the hour. So if there's any additional questions that you have, I know Mohit has put his email in there. My email is in there as well. We'd love to hear from you. Additional questions specifically. I would love, anyone that's interested in getting access to the API, please send me an email with the answer to these questions or fill out the form. Would love to definitely follow up with you and set up some time, get you access to the API, etc. There will be a recording of this video that will be passed out to everyone. So I just want everyone to know that we are providing a replay of everything. And just so you know, all of our API resources, which will also be available in the replay when you send that out to be able to navigate to these different locations. But again, really appreciate everyone's time and sticking around, asking so many great questions. We are excited to chat with everyone here and talk about what we've been doing from an API perspective, because we've been working very hard on this for a while now, and we wanted to tell the world about it, as it were. So Mohit, I appreciate you staying up and being a part of the webinar today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. I know that's been very well received. I've been watching the comments, and yeah, just to confirm about the replay, it's going to take us a few hours to get the replay sorted out and get the email together. So sometime tomorrow, you should expect an email with a link to the replay and also all of the resources that the gents have been sharing today. So I reckon that's about it. It's a wrap, don't you guys?
I think so. I know I could probably keep going, but we all have other things to do, and we can follow up after this, offline with everyone. So I appreciate everyone jumping in and spending some time with us.
Great. Okay. So good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you are, and see you on the next webinar.
Sounds good.